Hey, what's going on, guys? So we got a 2008 Hyundai Elantra doing the in and out of tie rods. Um, Complaint was the alignment issues, I guess, and the alignment shop said they needed to replace tire and on this side wasn't really much play. Honestly, it was in good shape, but the owner wanted to just be, I guess, headache free, so he wanted to replace everything at once. So we bought some good stuff, some Moog. Somebody's interested in part numbers. Right there. Alright, that's the outer. That's the inner. The inner is the same part. The outer is different from side to side. So, right there if you're interested in that. Alright, so anyway, the way you're going to get these ones, it's not, you got to use a one of these right here. Right? If you're focused. You see that right there? That's the type of tool you want to use. A plumber's wrench there. Because the tie rod end doesn't have any types of grooves or anything you can catch with the regular tie rod end tool. So you're gonna have to use one of these. You're gonna have to muscle it out of there somewhere, somehow. Right, if I can get you a decent shot here. But you get the picture, so that's what you're gonna have to do to get it out of here. And it's coming out kind of tough. So hopefully the threads are still intact. We'll find out when we get it out. Anyway, so that's all I wanted to share with you guys today. I'll catch you later. We got a 2012, what is it, Ford Fusion 4-cylinder, doing a, I think it's called a water coolant outlet. So that's the one where the heater hose is plugged into, and also the, what is it, the upper radiator hose and the heater hose going to. And there's another lot of hose going. So basically it was leaking because O-ring got dried. I guess it got kind of hot or whatever. So the plastic piece, because it's a plastic piece, was warped. Got it from Dorman. There's a few things you need to do when you get the Dorman part, because that's the one at the auto store. There is a breather, or not a breather, a bleed tube. That's on the original one. It's not on this one. It doesn't come with it, so you got to take it from the old one. And they're going to give you two options. One option is to block it off completely. The other one is to put a nipple and then use this one. Don't do what I did, because that's a waste of time. I wasted basically half an hour, 45 minutes, I would say, because I sealed it off, and because of that, air was trapped in the system, and the car was overheating, even though there was no leak. So now I just use, this is basically it right there, what you see in the middle of your screen with that white paint on it. That's the bleeder tube. It goes, and then there's a nipple on the side. I just put another clamp because I couldn't find the original clamp. I lost it. You can see what I'm saying right there. So it goes on the side there. You can do it outside the car. Don't do it like me. That way you just less hassle, and you can do a much better job. And that's that. So now I'm just putting everything back together. So all I had to take off basically is just the battery tray to do this job. That's basically it. You can get access to all of that. There's only that upper hose, that first hose on top there. That's the heater hose. And I said, once you yank it out of there, 4 bolts, of course, 8mm. There is a hose in the back, but then once you yank it out of there, it has enough wiggle room to get the other one without much headache. So you don't have to fight it. Very smart of them to do it like that. So that's about it. I'm just gonna now wash up some of this coolant that's kind of spilled over. Fill it up with coolant, start it up, and see what's going on. So we got a 2007 Honda Accord. Today we're replacing the control arms. Owner had some play when braking, and when you're stopping, you can see the wheel is still kind of moving forward after you stop, which is an indication of the bushing being shot. So we ordered from Rock Auto. This is a Mevotech brand, and it looks to be decent quality. This is the part number if you're interested, MS20406. So Mevotech Supreme. But look at the difference between the two. Look at the bushing. Look at this bushing, and look at the new bushing. Completely sealed off. mean, really, it's gonna probably be a little stiffer and awry, but I'm pretty sure this bushing is probably gonna outlast the life of this car for sure. Uh, very, very sturdy, looks to be quality, definitely. Hopefully the machining is precise, so we don't have to fight too much, because the bushing right there, they're not going to give it too much. But there's plenty of videos online on how to do this job, so we're not going to waste time showing that. I just wanted to show the part because it looks really quality. If somebody's interested, Rock Auto. I think it costs about $80-something a piece. So that's the part number one if you're interested. That's what we're gonna do on this car, and then replace the brakes. Probably will do the upper control arm sometime down the line. He told me to look for something, whatever I see, and we'll see. Ultimately, all of the rubber bushings are shot. Anything that is rubber in the suspension needs to be replaced. So that's that. All right, guys. If I see anything interesting, I'll show it. 2000 Honda Accord 2.3. We're doing the heater hose. It's a common repair, common failure item. A couple of videos on it, so I'm not going to go through that. I think Fix It Angel has one. It's a similar procedure. The only difference is the distributor. Instead of 3 bolts, this one has only 2. One on this side there, and one on the opposite side, somewhere down there. Where my finger is. That's about it. And everything else seems to be identical. You have to align the distributor. I mean, nothing to it. So that's the new hose there. Alrighty, $21. It goes right up in there. Prone to failure because oil leaks, and the distributor is sitting right there. So it would be a good time to change the O-ring. That's advice to myself. But by the time I made it to the dealership, they already closed. And so that was not something we could do today. But it's something definitely recommended. Change the O-ring on the distributor, because oil will leak from the distributor straight down onto the pipe, and that's exactly where it fails. So since this looks to be the original and it lasted this long, hopefully this one will definitely outlast the car. Since we're here, you know, this was looking kind of scary, so I just opted to get a new one. I'm sure the owner's not going to mind. That's what we got now. Nothing to it. Nice job. Only problem with this type of jobs for me, because I'm kind of tall, relatively, I'm 6'1". That's the bending of a part of it that's really killing you. Woo! And I'll be damned if I get my heavy jack to jack up this car just because of that, because that's another 90 freaking pounds there on that jack, so it doesn't come out except for real serious issues. So anyway, putting back the connections together where they're supposed to be, you know, distributor, coolant temp sensor. Going to tighten these 2 bolts, put back the radiator hose, fill it up with coolant, open up the bleed right there. You can see it on the corner, that's the bleeder. And that's about it, you know. Put the snorkel and everything else back together and get out of here. I got another car to go see, and we're going to do a compression test on that car. Maybe I'll film it. All right. What's up, guys? So we got a 1996 Toyota 4Runner. Okay, so we're doing quick struts and possibly the upper ball joint. We already done that, so on the other side there. So I decided to pick up the camera quickly just for reference video, what you need to do to get to this point. It's not, you know, a difficult job, but if you know some of the tricks, it's even easier. So anyway, so that's the old strut. It's mounted on top of this right here, this little, you know, mount brace, whatever you call it, and it has 3 nuts on top of it, and then there's a stud that goes right here. So you can go ahead and just take off the nuts, the 3 ones at the top, completely off, and then you got left with this. In order for you to remove this without fighting with it, you can remove the nut, but to push the bolt, the long bolt out, and actually to extract it and actually install the new one, you will have to remove the sway bar link right there. So 12 millimeter, 14 millimeter. Once you remove the sway bar link, this whole assembly is just going to drop. And once it drops, you got it. So nothing else to it. Pretty much it's not a big deal job. So again, take off the 3 nuts at the top. After, of course, you know, get the car jacked up and everything else. But once we in here, take the 3 nuts off. Take the bolt, the nut, what is it, 19 millimeter at the bottom. Release the sway bar link. You might want to have a jack underneath so you don't put too much stress on the CV axle because it's really going to drop. And then you can ease it a little bit easier. Ease it down a little bit, and then you can play with the struts while you're pushing on the bottom bolt, and that's about it. And you know, you do the same thing to put it back in. Nothing to it. Just a quick tip there. Enjoy. If you like it, hey, subscribe. You know, make my channel grow. Maybe I'll make better videos if I start getting paid for them.